So greatest common factor and least common multiple, you will hear these abbreviated as the GCF for the greatest common factor, or you'll hear the LCM for the least common multiple. So the greatest common factor is going to be the largest number that each number is evenly divisible by. We use this to simplify fractions. The least common multiple is the smallest number that is a multiple of both. And so for this, is what we use to add and subtract fractions. So multiples mean that you skip count by the number. So let's just look at 2 before we start looking at the example. The multiples of 4 would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, etc. The multiples of 2 would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. And then let's do the multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, etc. And so if I had said, what is the least common multiple of 4, 2, and 6, you would look for what's the smallest thing in both of their sets. And so let me extend this out some. In this case, the smallest number that all of these numbers have in common would be the number 12. And so the least common multiple between 2, 4, and 6 would be 12 because it's the smallest multiple that they all have in common. Now, as the numbers get larger or as the numbers get less easy, quote unquote, if you will, we're going to want a better method because something like 36 and 48, I don't want to list all of those off to find the least common multiple. So we have this thing called the ladder method. I really like the ladder method because it's going to give you the LCM and the GCF with one method. You don't have to do two separate things. So write the numbers and draw an L shape around them. Check. That's what we've got already. Step 2 says, what factor do they have in common other than a 1? I do not want to pull out a 1 because I'm not breaking it down any. So these two numbers, they're both even, so they definitely have a 2 in common. So I'm going to write the 2 on the outside, and then I'm going to divide the numbers by 2. So 36 divided by 2 is going to give me 18, and then 48 divided by 2 is going to give me 24. And then I'm going to draw a ladder, another rung. I'm going to do that again. 18 and 24 also have a 2 in common. 18 divided by 2 is going to give me 9. And 24 divided by 2 is going to give me 12. Now 9 and 12 aren't both even, so I can't say they have a 2 in common, but they do both have a 3 in common. So now I'm going to divide that. 9 divided by 3 is going to give me 3, and 12 divided by 3 is going to give me 4. Now I am done, so let me highlight this step. Continue to divide by a common factor until they do not have any factors in common, other than a 1, of course. And so 3 and 4 do not divide anything else. 3 is actually prime, so I'm done anyway. Now to find the GCF is going to be the numbers down the side. And so for these two, the GCF is going to be 2 times 2 times 3. And 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is going to give me 12. So the greatest common factor between 36 and 48 would be 12. To find the LCM, I'm going to draw an L. Oops. And these numbers, if I multiply those, I'm going to get the LCM. So the LCM is going to be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 4. Multiply all these. And then I can type that in, and I get out 144. All right, let's look at number 7 on page 74. So just like before, I would recommend pausing the video and doing that. All right, so number 7, hopefully you've already done this. Number 7 says, in the Venn diagram below, I've got A, B. So in the Venn diagram below, circle A represents the factors of 12. And circle B represents the factors of 26. How many numbers are included in the shaded region? So the shaded region means how many numbers are included in both the factors of 12 and the factors of 26. So let's look at my factors of 12. I'm looking for what numbers evenly divide 12. So I've got 1 and 12, because 1 times 12 is 12. 2 and 6, and then 3 and 4. And those all are my factors of 12. Factors of 26, I've got 1 and 26. And then 2 and 13. And there's no 4. 26 times 4, or sorry, nothing times 4 is 26. Nothing times 5 is 26. Nothing times 6 is 26. And when I say nothing, I mean no whole number. So those are all my factors of 26. And then I'm looking at how many numbers are in both. Well, I've got 1 in both and 2 in both. And that's it. So there are, in the shaded region, 2 numbers, and that is letter C.